What's up, everybody? Empire is back as of last Wednesday. It is back. We are now continuing with season 3. They left off with episode 9 back in December, I think, and they're picking up this season with episode 10, and it is called Sound and Fury. And this is my brief. Yeah, I know. I know that's funny, but I'm going to try to make this brief. This is my brief synopsis or review on the episode. Okay. Of course, Lucius and Cookie are still arch rivals. Cookie is mad at the fact that Lucius tried to destroy Alonzo, or is still trying to destroy Alonzo, her boyfriend. And he has gotten some information on something that happened years ago with Alonzo concerning a young girl that drowned while he was with Alonzo. And Alonzo, they're claiming that Alonzo let the girl drive. They had some type of car accident while he was driving drunk one night, and the girl drowned, and Alonzo supposedly got himself out and didn't do anything to help the girl. So of course Lucius is trying to get him in trouble behind that incident. Okay. Cookie's also mad with Lucius because Lucius has started working on this project called Inferno. She didn't tell him about it. She had no idea he was getting ready to work on this project. He decided to embark on this project while Jamal is in rehab. So when the episode first comes on, it shows Remy Ma and Sticky Fingers actually performing his primary song on the album called Inferno. And it sounds good. It was real cool. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing Remy Ma perform and everything. It was real refreshing to see another kind of artist like her on the show. But moving right along, Lucius is backstage talking to his newfound friend, old enemy, played by Exhibit Shine. His name is Shine. And they're back there discussing how good Remy Ma is doing everything. And the next thing you know, Cookie walks up. And that's when you find out that Cookie's still pissed off with him. And she's, like I said, she's mad because Lucius is working on this new project without telling her. And he's doing it while Jamal is in rehab. She accuses him of being very insecure and intimidated by Jamal. Could be, because he's always giving Jamal a hard time. And so she's also going to try to make him pay for the fact that he has done what he's done regarding Alonzo. So she tells Lucius she wants him to tell all of his fans that he's going to be taking a break for a little while from being CEO, and that he's going to let her take over while he works on his new project. But of course, Lucius ain't going for that. He ain't even trying to hit it. So she tells him, Lucius, don't play with me. And Lucius tells her, he says he don't play. He does war. And so he tells her to take the first shot. Okay, so why he tell Cookie that? So the next thing you know, when the concert is over, Lucius goes out to speak to his fans in the audience. And while he's talking, behind him walks his mother, comes out from backstage. You know, the one that he told everybody was dead. Well, she came out on stage. Cookie brought her. And Lucius turns around when all the people in the audience start noticing that she's there. They're looking like, what? Who is that? Who is that old lady coming out on stage? Had on her fur coat and everything. And so Lucius turns around and his mouth drops wide open. He's like, oh my God. So he's stuck between a rock and a hard place at this point. And so Cookie brings her up and she allows Lucius' mother to actually introduce herself. And the little old lady says, hi, my name is Leah Walker. And it's just real funny because everybody thought she was dead because Lucius had told everybody that. So now they looking at him like he crazy. They calling him a liar and everything. I mean, this is a fiasco at this point. People talking in the crowd. He just pretty much lost everybody's attention. And he's standing there stunned. See, this is the first shot that Cookie took. She done embarrassed him and she done made him out to be a liar. Okay? So anyway, they leave and they go off. And while they're there at the concert, Becky was there and she was saying something to Xavier. You know, Xavier is the white guy that Cookie actually made her boss last season when she dropped the ball or did something concerning Tiana. So she made him her boss. He's actually over that A&R position that Cookie cherishes so much. Well, when she made a comment to him, he had the nerve to tell her Don't forget, I'm your boss now. You work for me. He has been bullying her since last season, or since the first part of the season. And so he's making her feel bad every chance he's getting. He's bullying her. He feels like he has to remind her that he is her boss, okay? So basically, he low-key threatens Becky every chance he gets, okay? Nobody knows why. So anyway, so they go on, and the next thing that you see that the staff, Andre, Hakeem, and the rest of the staff, Becky included, Xavier is all there, they're having this meeting. And they're having a meeting to discuss who is going to be the performer to actually headline this new showcase that they have coming up called the Next Up Showcase. And of course, Andre wants Nessa to stage to, what do you call it when somebody is the main one? He wants her to headline it. But of course, Hakeem's like, no, Tiana's gonna do it. So they arguing back and forth about that. And while they're arguing, Lucius walks up the hall. Andre sees him and he yells out to him to come in. So Lucius comes on in and everything, and he sees them arguing, bickering back and forth. He's like, what's going on here? And so Andre says, who do you think should be the one to headline the showcase, the Next Up Showcase? He's like, should it be Nessa or should it be Tiana? And so that's when Hakeem interrupts and says, are you dumb? Are you stupid? He says, Mom, Cookie has already okayed Tiana to do it. And so that's when Lucius looks up, and this is when he takes his shot. He says, okay, well, it's settled. If Cookie said it was Tiana, it's going to be Nessa. So, of course, he had to do the very opposite. He basically undermined Cookie in that moment. Okay? So now, of course, Hakeem is pissed, but ain't nothing he can do about it. Andre has won in that moment. Well, while they're having this meeting, Xavier makes it known that he agrees with Andre because Andre is his boss, and Becky steps in to say, but that's stupid. She says Tiana should be the one headlining because everybody knows that Hakeem and Tiana are the ones that have an album out right now. See, Nessa hadn't even released an album yet. She's a new artist on the label. And so, okay, he doesn't say anything, but when the meeting is he does say something. He reminds her that I am your boss. I work for Andre and you work for me. You do the math. Another threat. In other words, he don't want to hear her ideas at all. He don't want to hear nothing she has to say. So when the meeting is over, Becky is left. She's the last one getting ready to leave. And Xavier's sitting there staring at her, glaring at her, shall I say. And she's like, what? And so he begins to say something to her. And she's like, don't even try it. You can keep your apologies. But instead of apologizing, he tells her if she ever talks to him like that or comes at him like that again in another meeting, that he was going to fire her. So basically he has threatened her now to fire her. Okay? So she looks at him crazy and he walks off. She's left there again, stunned, okay? Now, the next thing they show is the Next Up Showcase, okay? Well, of course, Nessa's out there on stage doing her thing. She getting down, baby. She boogieing. She getting down, singing and everything. And the next thing you know, a few minutes later, out comes Hakeem and Tiana. They done crashed this girl's show, okay? Singing the same exact song, okay? So she's dancing. So at this point, they competing on the stage for this showcase moment. Of course, Cookie has brought them there. This is Cookie taking another shot at Lucius. And she's sitting out in the audience. Lucius, of course, didn't know she was coming. He's like, what you doing here? She was like, I was bringing some talent to your concert, Because like I said, nobody's really as familiar with Nessa. They know Tiana more, and she has a big fan base, apparently. So, okay. So they while they're on stage performing, they mean mugging each other and everything. And the next thing you know, when the song is over, Nessa looks over at Tiana and told her that if she wasn't a lady, she'd whoop her butt out there on that stage. Of course, y'all know she cussed and said something else, but I don't do all that cussing. So she told her she would have whooped her butt if she wasn't such a lady. And then the next thing you know, Tiana looks over at her and told her she should have kicked her behind when she stole that the fashion show from her. And she called her a dusty skank. Oh, what she do that for? Because Nessa wasn't here. And then Nessa's like, what? Next thing you know, she done snatched Tiana up and pushed the girl off the stage. Now, I just knew both of them had these big old ugly wigs on. I just knew Tiana's wig was going to come off her head. And I think at some point when she hit that audience, it did come off a little bit and she had to push it back on her head because it wasn't right when she got back up. Anyway, the crowd helps her get up. Nessa jumps down off the stage and pimp slaps Tiana. Well, when Tiana came to, she got up and she pimp slapped Nessa. And next thing you know, they start brawling. They out there in the middle of the floor at the concert just getting it in, they fight. And eventually, Tiana winds up sitting on top of Nessa. She's about to beat her face in. So she got the upper hand on Nessa. I'd say Tiana won that fight, ultimately. So Hakeem and Andre had to come break it up. Now, while they were fighting, Shane's standing up on the stage, egging Nessa on, because we know that's his homegirl. He calls her sister or whatever. But he egging her on to fight Tiana. But like I said, it looked like Tiana was winning in that moment. Okay, so they get up. Now, while all this is going on, Lucius and Cookie off to the side looking. Lucius gets a phone call, and it's the people calling from the rehab that Jamal is at. They're calling because, well, let me go back. Before they call Jamal. Cookie gets herself dressed to go earlier. This is before the showcase, y'all. Cookie goes to see Jamal. Her, Hakeem, and Andre go to visit Jamal because Jamal is getting ready to have his session with the counselor, and they agree to go to meet him and see him, okay? Like family does sometimes. And so while they're there, you know, she lets Jamal know, because Jamal asked about Lucius. She lets him know, well, Lucius is not coming, baby, because Lucius never said he was going to show up. So while she's talking to him and talking about Lucius, Lucius shows up. He's like, what about his father? So he's like, I'm here. So he shows up, and they all sit down. Well, while they're there, when they first get there, this girl, played by Rumor Willis, who is, of course, Bruce Willis and Demi Moore's daughter, she shows up. She's become friends with Jamal while they're in there, and she's a singer herself. But she's an ex-heroin addict. That's why she's in the rehab. And she interrupts them, and she says something to Cookie real smart about apparently something that Jamal had told her while they've been in rehab. She mentions that the whole family, I heard, is crazy, so all of y'all should be here. Some comment like that. And of course, Cookie goes off on her. She's like, I don't know who you talking to, little girl. She ought to know not to mess with Cookie like that. Apparently, Jamal didn't warn her about Cookie. You don't come at Cookie out the side of your face. And she should have learned in that moment. But of course, she's going to try again later on in the episode. So anyway, she finally, the doctor and Jamal and the rest of them finally get her to go and mind her own business off in another room. So everybody, Lucius, Andre, Jamal, Cookie, and Hakeem all sit down around in a circle around the counselor. And Jamal is talking to them, and he's telling them about how he needs to get out there to do his music. That's the therapy that he needs. He's ready to go. He feels like he's okay. He done promised everybody that he ain't gonna do drugs no more. And of course, Cookie's like, well, baby, you look good physically and healthy and everything, but are you okay mentally? Are you going to be all right? And he's telling her, yeah, he just needs to do his music. Well, of course, Lucius, he accuses Cookie of getting Hakeem hooked. Not Hakeem, I'm sorry, but Jamal hooked on these drugs. They're pain meds. But of course, she says that she only wanted to help him because she saw how much pain he was in. And she was trying to help her baby. But Lucius also pulls her card and lets her know that no, you wanted him to perform on that album. This is the reason why you gave him this medication as well. You care more about that boyfriend of yours than you care about your own son's health and whatnot. So he done made Cookie feel bad and everything. But Cookie and Lucius, the funny thing is, they start arguing and bickering back and forth. This whole meeting was supposed to be about Jamal, and they sitting there arguing over his head like he's not even there. They've turned this whole situation into being about them instead of Jamal, which has been the problem his whole life. And so he's sitting there looking crazy, all these voices, he's overwhelmed with their arguing, and it's just making him feel just worse and worse. He can't take it. So at this point, they change scenes, all right? So that's when, it was after that they wound up having the showcase where Tiana and Aria and whatever that girl's name is, Nessa, gets into that big fight. And while they're there, like I said, Lucius gets a phone call. And the people done called him and told him that they did bed check at the rehab and Jamal wasn't there. So basically, Jamal done escaped from the rehab. So he tells Cookie, and of course, Cookie's like, oh my God, we got to go find him. So they get up and they leave. He takes his bodyguard with him. And the first person they go see is D Major, because they know that's his boyfriend. They go to the studio. D Major's in there making some music and everything. He thinks that Lucius is there to check out some music. He wants to show him, but Lucius has the bodyguard grab the boy by the neck and pin him up against the wall. He's choking him, and Cookie is questioning, like, where's Jamal? Where's Jamal? And he tells him he don't know where he is, and so she accuses D Major of also getting him hooked on drugs. But D Major was like, lets her know that he was just like her. He was trying to help Jamal. I saw him in pain and I gave him medicine just to help him. She felt like he was pushing drugs on Jamal, but he was in a way. But Jamal was in pain and he was doing the same thing she was doing. So when he told her that, I think they kind of took mercy on him, and eventually her and Lucius left him alone and they left. So they are, while they are there, I believe they see a video of Jamal and the white girl, Rumor Willis. What's her name? Her name's Tori on here. They see them at this in the bad side of town, in a drug infested area, and they see him outside trying to get in this building. So Cookie assumes that he's out there to buy drugs. So they go to look for him, and where they find him, where they go is to that studio. I think it's called, I forget the name of it. It's some raggedy studio that they were at in the first part. That's where you saw Shine and some other people recording it. I can't think of the name of it, but it's something like the raggedy studio or something on the rough side of town. So they go over there, and when they get in there, they find the dude that's always sitting up there eating cereal. Well, he's sitting up there guarding the front door at a desk eating a bowl of Fruit Loops. And of course they question him, and he lied. He says he hadn't seen Jamal. But of course the bodyguard and Lucius and them know he's lying, and so the bodyguard snatches him up and threw the dude on the sofa, made his Fruit Loops and milk just go everywhere. I said, ooh, they just messed up a perfectly good bowl of Fruit Loops. I know his feelings hurt. But anyway, he finally tells them upstairs on the first floor. So they go upstairs and they walk into a room and they see Jamal and they see Jamal, and he's in there in a booth singing. He's obviously recording a song. And so they stand out there and they listen for a while. Him and Tori are singing to record this song that they were so amped about. And it sounds really good. You can tell Lucius and Cookie like hearing him sing this song. So they let him sing for a little while. And in good Negro fashion, while he's in there, they bust in the door. Wouldn't even let him finish it. Just come in the door, and she hollering, where you been? Why you left the rehab? And all this kind of stuff. Scared him to death. Tori sitting in there, and of course, once again, she tries Cookie, and she says, we trying to finish this song. We need to finish this song, so y'all need to go on out and let us finish it. What she do that for? Cookie was going to beat her up at this point. Cookie said, I done told you, you don't want none of this. And so Jamal breaks it up, and he has to get Cookie off of Tori, and he tells his mom and daddy that he's only there to record his song. He promises Cookie that he ain't on no drugs. Mama, you can trust me. Blah, 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 like he always does, to let her know that he's okay. And so she agrees, and her and Lucius finally let the dude finish his song. They walk out and leave, whatever. And she tells him that when he's done, she gonna take him home. So he gets to leave the rehab permanently, okay, at this point. Before I go any further with that, Thirsty's so loyal to Lucius. And he actually is good to Becky, too, because he does a couple of things in this episode. You know, Thirsty Rollins, the lawyer, the shady lawyer that Lucius hired. Well, what Thirsty first does, Lucius is trying to figure out why his half-brother Tariq, the detective, is trying so hard to bring him down. So Thirsty he makes contact with somebody that works for the police force, because he goes to get a hot dog one day. And while he's out there fixing his hot dog up, he asks some strange woman for a napkin. And the lady gives him a strange look, and she pulls out a napkin from her jacket, or from her bag, and she pulls a napkin from the napkin holder. She hands it to him. She looks at him funny, and at that point I knew it was somebody that Thirsty knew. And so as Thirsty's walking off, he looks at the napkin, and he sees the name Frank Gathers on the napkin. So he goes back to Lucius, and they're sitting down brainstorming and having a talk, and he lets Lucius know that Frank Gathers is what Tariq has against him. He realizes that Frank Gathers is going to try to, not Frank Gathers, but Tariq is going to try to pin Frank Gathers' murder on Lucius. He's going to try to prove that Lucius was the one who actually ordered the hit out on Frank Gathers when they were in prison. And so Thirsty and Lucius actually figure out in conversation that it's the only person left for Tariq to use against Lucius, or to testify against Lucius, is a guy named Bam Bam, a big guy that was in prison with them at the time. And Bam Bam was actually the guy that Lucius had promised to help his mother and take care of his mom and daughter when he got out of prison. So they devise a plan. Thirsty does. I'm telling you, he real efficient now. He devises a plan to help him. And what he does is he takes Lucius's mother, Leah. They go to the nursing home where Bam Bam's mother is, and they go pick her up. I forget her name on the show. But they go pick this old lady up from the nursing home. And at the time, he's got Becky in the car with him. Becky's like, I thought you was going to help me, because he done promised to help Becky with her problem dealing with Xavier. So she's trying to figure out why in the world they're going to kidnap these old people. So she's getting frustrated because she wants Thirsty to help her. But what she doesn't realize is Thirsty's helping her too, because he's making drop-offs with radio stations. He's doing something the whole time that he's in the process of helping Lucius. So they go pick up Bam Bam's mother, and they take her to a diner where Bam Bam is a fry cook. Bam Bam is in there making a patty melt one night. And he comes out, he looks out as he's bringing somebody's food out. He looks out the window and he sees his mom. And he's like, Mama! So he runs out, but before he can get out there to her, Lucius intersects him. And Lucius wants to talk to him. So this is all a setup by Lucius and Thirsty. So Lucius got his bodyguard with him. And he tells Bam Bam to sit down, because he sees his mama out there waving at him and everything. But he can't go talk to her. So Lucius says, sit down and don't you say nothing. Let me talk. And he explains to Bam Bam. He reminds him, rather, of what he did for his mom. He was like, I helped your mom. I took care of her, paid her bills, fed her. Took care of your daughter until the daughter wound up getting killed. I think she burned up in a fire or something like that. But Lucius reminds him that he took care of the mama and the daughter until the daughter died, and he continued to help the mama. So he's telling Bam Bam that because of what I did for you, you owe me. You're going to have to help me too. And I also think that when he brought Bam Bam's mother there, that he was bringing her so that Bam Bam, to threaten Bam Bam, like, if you don't do what I want you to do, I'm going to hurt your mama too. That's just what I think. They didn't say that in this episode, but that's just me. Knowing what I know of Lucius, if he brought her there, it was for a reason. So that he could see his mama and be afraid that Lucius is going to hurt her if he doesn't do what Lucius wants him to do. So he tells Bam Bam that he's going to testify in his favor. He's going to let the people know that Lucius had nothing to do with Frank Gather's murder. So, of course, the dude cannot refute him. He cannot argue with him because he does owe him. You can tell he don't want to do it, but he got to do it. He has no other choice but to do it. Okay, so he wins in that area. Okay, so Thirsty done took care of Lucius's problem. So all the while, Becky's still trying to figure out. She don't know yet that Thirsty has done something to help her as well. Okay, she don't know yet. So he's, like I said, he made some drop to a radio station, to a van. The next thing that happened is, let's see, for Lucius. Well, Andre. Andre is in the parking deck one night, and he runs into Shine. Shine then came on up in where Shine got his own nameplate in front of his car. He got his own parking space in the parking deck. And so Andre says, I see you coming up in the world. Congratulations. And Shine's like, thank you, thank you, thank you. So they start talking, and Andre basically lets him know that he is working on getting a place for Shine and all his homeboys. He's telling Shine that he's going to basically take over Empire, and he wants Shine and his homeboys and him and Nessa all to run Empire. And so Shine tells him, you gonna try to take over Empire? He said, that's gonna be impossible, because right now Lucius is at the top of his game. You ain't gonna be able to take it over. And so Andre tells him he ain't trying to take over Empire. He says he wants to kill Lucius. So Andre has plans to kill his own father, which we saw this coming the first part of the season. Okay, so he really hates Lucius, and he wants to kill him at this point. But Shine just looks at him, and you could tell that Shine is not happy with that. You could tell that Shine is not on board with it, but he doesn't say anything to Andre at this time. He just looks at him crazy. And so Andre walks off and tells him, welcome to Empire. Okay? Let's see. Tariq's boss at the detective agency actually takes him off of Lucius's case. He tells him, and I think this is subsequently to Bam Bam telling him that Lucius had nothing to do with it. They take Tariq off of it. He don't like it, but he ain't got no other choice. The man told him to go on paid vacation. Told him to go on paid leave. So now Tariq is off of it for it. So at least for a little while, Lucius doesn't have to be bothered with Tariq. As a matter of fact, I wish they would literally take Tariq off the storyline. As far as I'm concerned, he's useless to the Empire script, so they might as well just remove him from the whole storyline. Because he ain't going to be able to do nothing to Lucius. Nobody's ever able to successfully bring Lucius down, okay? Make sure I didn't leave anything out, you guys. I'm already at 25 minutes. So, one thing Lucius does to get back at Cookie after Cookie bombards that showcase, he winds up going on the television and he endorses Alonzo's mayor opponent, some man named John Meeks. He's telling everybody to vote for John Meeks because this is a man without a criminal past. So he's assuming or accusing Alonzo of having a criminal past. This is what he's telling all the people at this press conference. And he's also telling people that he wants to give out $300,000 as a reward to anybody that can come forward with some evidence that he can use against Alonzo. So he really is trying to get Alonzo out of Cookie's life. And Cookie has a conversation with Jamal about this, and she's like, can you believe your dad is doing this? He's like, yeah, and no, he could believe. He said, I can see him doing this. And so Jamal tells Cookie that daddy loves you. This is a twisted, crazy kind of love, but he loves you. This is what people do when they love somebody sometimes, is they go do crazy stuff like this. So anyway, he's still trying to get Alonzo in trouble, of course, and Cookie is becoming more and more disgusted with Lucius as the day goes by. Well, one thing Lucius has done in this episode that has really pissed Cookie off. While they were having another meeting, this is where Thirsty was helping Becky comes in too. Well, while they're having this meeting and they're calling it to order, Lucius says, the first thing I want to do, the first order of business. He looks over at Xavier. Xavier's sitting there ready to do work. He tells Xavier, you're fired. Good for him. So he tells him that, yeah, we firing you because we know you've been making side deals. You've been getting money kickbacks from radio companies. But of course, Xavier swears he wouldn't do anything like that. And he probably didn't do anything like that. But Thirsty done set it up to make it look like he done been getting kickbacks from other radio companies. So at that moment, Becky gets her redemption. He did so for Becky. But the funny thing was, Xavier, who did Becky wrong the last part of the season, he was supposed to help her and put a word in for her, and he didn't do it. And when Becky questioned him about it last season, he was like, it's just business. He helped himself is what he did. So this time he had the unmitigated gall after Lucius fired him to tell Becky to speak up for him. He's like, you know me. Put a word in for me. Speak up for me. She was like, I don't know you, man. She said, it's just business. It's just business. I was like, man, look at Becky. Becky has gotten her revenge. So sweet, and she didn't have to lift a finger to do it. It was almost like she had nothing to do with it. Which in a lot of ways she didn't, but she did. But Thirsty did that. Thirsty came through for her once again. I like old Thirsty. Thirsty gonna come through, baby. They hire him to do a job, and Thirsty does it every time. So, but like I said, getting up to what Lucius did to Cookie. Well, since Xavier's been fired, now the position as head of A&R is open, and that's the coveted position for Cookie. I don't know what it is about A&R that Cookie wants so bad. I'm going to have to do some research on the A&R position at a record label. I don't know what it is about that position. I mean, she's co-CEO. You can't get no higher than that in the company, right? So what is it about the A&R position that she wants so bad? I mean, Xavier was in the position for the past several months, so why? I mean, I don't understand. If he was in it, she didn't act stupid last season. So anyway, Lucius decides because the position is open to give the position to Boo Boo Kitty. So he introduces Onika. She comes out from the back. He done told everybody in the room she is his inspiration. She is his muse. She keeps him in line. She's loyal to him. Everything he says about Onika pertained to Cookie. And Cookie thought he was talking about her. Now, at one point, they showed Becky. Becky thought she was going to get that job at some point. But we know that Cookie wanted that position for whatever reason. I don't understand how all of this is working. If she's head of CE, if she's part CEO or co-CEO, why the A&R position? If she wants it, why can't she just have it? But anyway, he gives it to Onika. Cookie is obviously devastated and pissed. She doesn't say anything, but she gets up and she walks out. Lucius notices that she walks out. He knows she's pissed. and he's looking after her, probably wondering what she gonna do to him next. But she leaves pissed off, okay? So the next thing you know, one night, they show Lucius up in his studio recording some music or playing around with some new music for his Inferno project. Cookie walks in the room and she's got a bat in her hand. And the first thing she does is she starts to compliment Lucius on his project. She was like, on his music. She was like, ooh, that sounds real good. That's bad there, Lucius. That's bad. I like that. And then the next thing you know, she started tearing up all his gold albums, his platinum albums. I mean, she just beating up everything. And he's sitting there looking at her crazy. And she's reminding him or reciting back to him the things that he said about Boo Boo Kitty that he knows refers to her, talking about her DNA is in this music. And she's letting him know, no, my DNA is in this music. I'm the one who helped start this company. You started it on my back. So she bashing stuff in the studio. Eventually, Lucius gets up and they start to fight. He tries to take the bat from her, but then she hit him in his head and he hits the floor. I couldn't believe Cookie hit Lucius in his head with that bat, but then again, she was pissed. I know this was the last straw for Cookie. She done took all she could take off of disrespect for Lucius. She tired of him looking over her, and she tired of him just pushing her to the side like she's a nobody, when she, in fact, is the one that gave him the money to start this company. She's the one that helped write so many of them songs, and she had to remind him of this. So she popped him in his head. He starts to bleed. He hits the floor, and he's all discombobulated. And then at one point, he cuts his hand on all this broken glass when he gets up to try to come back at her. So Cookie eventually walks on off. She bashes another gold album. She leaves. She goes down the hall. She tears up the flat screen TV in the hall, and she does some other damage. And then she gets on the elevator, and she goes to his office. He finally follows her, gets on the elevator behind her. By the time he makes it up there, she's already bashing the keys on his favorite, cherished black piano in his office. She beating all the keys off of it. She tearing it up. It ain't gonna be no more good when she get through with it. So he runs up on her, and eventually she drops the bat. She stops. He stops, and he's looking at her. I mean, he's all his perm just thrown all over his head. He all disheveled looking. She's crying, and she's asking him, was he trying to, she's like, Lucius, are you trying to erase me? Why are you doing this to me? You built this company on my back. What are you doing to me? And he's looking at her, and he walks over to her, and all of a sudden, after they done had this drag down fight, and she done tore up his studio and his office, he grabs a hold to her. I guess he's horny at this point, and he grabs her and he starts kissing all over, these passionate kisses and hugs, and he starts to pull his clothes off because he think he finna get him some booty that night. And she was into it. She was kissing him too. But then finally, she stopped and she looks at him and she tells him, she says, I said I was through with you. And I meant that. He's crying, she's crying, but she looked him square in his eye and told him, I told you I was through with you, and I meant it. And so she backs away from him. She walks off, and she steps on his marriage to photo, the one where he took with Boo Boo Kitty. She steps on it on the way out the door, and that's it. And the episode goes off. So this episode was real heated, and it was real good. It was way better than last season, because last season was confusing. It was too much going on. But this episode has redeemed Empire, at least for a little while. I just hope that they keep the momentum, because it has gotten good this particular episode, okay? And I can't wait to see what's going to happen this coming Wednesday. I just had to get this video up before the next episode came on. Sorry it's so long, y'all. I tried, but once I get into it, it's hard for me to stop. But anyway, this has been another Fair Play review. Thank you once again for clicking on the video. I hope I'm not too scattered and all over the place. Next, my review will probably be Greenleaf from Wednesday. Oh yeah, that's good too. All right, thanks for watching, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.